I mean, do you ever sit there, look at him and think, that could have been us?
Yeah, like here we're just perfectionists.
If there's one thing we're good at in Europe, it's game fives and grand final resets. We were talking about kind of what makes a good team, and it's not always the individual players.
So London Legion, eh?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, oh, London Legion, bye. There we go. Welcome back to the London Legion podcast. Today I'm joined by
Captain JamesForce.
I'm Reed.
I'm Theo.
And today we're just going to be talking about the UHL LAN and potentially some upcoming things for EHL as a whole, European Halo as a whole, I think.
Yep.
So, I mean, my name's Neven. I'm a first year business and events student here, and I'm a Halo player for the Halo team here at London Legion.
My name's Captain JamesForce. I'm a caster, and I'm also a mouse and keyboard Halo player. Not very well, but some mouse and keyboard love.
We need the love.
We need some mouse and keyboard love.
So true.
Wootum's helping us.
Trying.
I'm Reed. I founded UHL. I founded EHL. Trying to work to keep the European Halo scene alive and pumping. I'm a slightly better mouse and keyboard player than James is.
That's true.
I can compete against some people, although when I try to play in high level 8s, I just end up sandbagging. So I try not to do that too often.
Yeah, I'm Theo. I'm a first year coaching management student, and I'm another member of the London Halo team that somehow made it to LAN.
Yeah, I know I think that's the biggest surprise this week is that we actually qualified from being dead last on the leaderboard
really
last season to coming in second. I mean, that's
I think the next thing I have to talk about is the set is different to normal, as we always say. Got the team badges behind who are competing tomorrow for the LAN.
Big up.
Yeah.
Big up.
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, there are going to be some people walking behind, still helping set up. I mean, we are 24 hours out, just less than.
It's exciting.
It's definitely exciting. The idea of coming about it, I mean, we had played the first week
split
of the split of this season, the 2024 season, and then you messaged Theo, right, Reed?
Well, I mean, I've wanted to do a LAN for ages, right? And running European LANs is hard enough, let alone a university LAN, which is even smaller. I actually helped out for Halo Chamber, which was 2 years ago. Jesus, maybe more. Which started at the beginning of Halo Infinite, and that was produced by a lot of the confetti students at their place in Nottingham. So I wanted to do a similar thing for us, for the University League, and then I reached out to you guys, and now we're doing it.
Yeah, I just remember Blackpool. I remember last week before Blackpool somehow getting involved with you guys, getting in a hotel in Blackpool with people I'd never met before. It was all lovely. Nice. And then I remember Bobby going, Reed, talk to Theo about LAN. And that's how it starts. And a lot of planning, a lot of last minute efforts, and we're here.
So it's Bobby's fault.
Yeah, it's Bobby's fault. It is Bobby's fault.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Theo kind of like, so Reed's just messaged me. I was like, oh no, what is it? I thought it was going to be something related to like our team status and like
London Legion, eh?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, oh, London Legion, bye. I was like, there we go. No, and then he messaged me that, and we emailed Stu, or did we talk to him?
Oh,
one of the two.
It was a lot of talking, and he was very keen when he realised that we had worked with Confetti before and had talked to Confetti about it. I was very keen to go in there and go, we can do it.
Yeah,
Confetti. I'm still in talks with Confetti. Maybe they've been up for UHL LAN 2.
Agree?
I don't know. Just will be.
I'll just thread it every single time we'll do a LAN and then we'll get one.
Yeah. Confetti offered me this. Whoa.
What if they offered?
I mean, for planning it all, we do need to give a huge shout out to the production team that's still working behind us. All of the organisers, you all for helping set up and
honestly,
put the effort in.
I was sat there in the Discord watching people join, and I was like, this must be it, right? And then another person joins, and then another person joins, and then there's like a bajillion people doing all stuff. And considering for our streams where we're streaming the HCS events, which is being watched by thousands of people, we have about 6 people in a Discord call.
Me being in those
Yeah.
calls and observing a lot of it.
Yeah,
There's
I
only like
remember
4 people in it
Yeah.
sometimes.
The invite,
And
yeah.
then-
It works.
You've got an actual professional setup here with
Yeah.
actually people doing replays and doing
Yeah.
an actual virtual set. It's just way better.
Yeah.
And that's like the crazy thing to me, right? And we were talking about it before, but like when we were doing Europa Halo Blackpool, we had like 1 PC for an observer and 1 PC for all the production.
Yeah.
And like massive shout out to Robles and those guys observing as well. But you go back there and there's like 7 PCs or something, and everyone's got their
Yeah.
own job, and it's that is seriously impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I do production outside of this, obviously, because I'm competing here. But like, on production days and even before production, I think our pre-production team, they put so much time into things. I know Finlo and Jake have been working overtime, easily 40+ hours this week on just this event alone. I mean, that's like a full-time job.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes it exciting as well, is like to see production quality as well, being able to use our virtual set. Carl, big shout out to him for helping set up the bracket and all the graphics that we have tomorrow. I mean, I think everything's coming along together and looking amazing.
Yeah, like here we're just perfectionists. We
Yeah.
look through,
Yeah,
we look through
it
the
sounds
screen.
so
There needs to
bad.
be an S
Yeah.
there
in
needs
that
to be an
word.
S in
and-
Strongholds,
I mean, look, if that's the only thing you have to change, like,
Forbidden 5 cap, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, I jumped into this with all of my graphics, which I had made in GIMP for like 4 hours. I don't know, actually. A lot of hours went into them, but they're not very good because I'm in no way an artist. And I handed them to you guys, I was like, this is what we use. And you're like, well, we'll
And
make our own.
Finlo and Jake are very quickly like, I see the concept.
Yeah.
Let's now.
Yeah. I think,
What-
I think
What
that's something
colours
Jake's
do you
really
need?
good at.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
I think that's something Jake is really good at, though, is like taking some sort of concept idea or like a base and like completely transforming it into like exactly what you envisioned. Like you just tell him like, oh, I'm thinking, we could do this or this, and he's like, oh, I've done it.
It's scary how fast
And
he can
exactly,
do
he
these
just does it
things.
so quickly.
And then you get someone else to do it, and then like 2 hours later,
Yeah.
they're not even where he is from 5
I mean, we
minutes.
have that 3D model of the ring that Charles had been working on for a long time, and I really like that. We've obviously used it in the teaser trailer.
Yeah.
About a week ago, and I think like that alone took him a week and a half, and then we went back and finalized it because the first design looked a little shaky.
Yeah.
and then the depths, right? But then, I mean, something like that, like 3D model versus graphics, is the time difference obviously is gonna be huge there. But Jake just used those things out. I mean, he had the transition. Well, that short transition was done in less than like 2 hours today. That's
Yeah.
2 hours.
Would've
2
taken
hours
me
for
2
that.
days.
Yeah,
exactly.
you're just saying.
Like for me, that's a week worth of researching on YouTube, and then my computer breaking somewhere, and then and he's like, oh, it's done. It's
scary,
amazing.
it's
No, I think
scary.
that's huge.
I need to get this guy to do my YouTube thumbnails. It takes me forever to do those things.
And you would
That's what
charge you
you have
600
AI
quid.
for.
I mean,
I think- I think we can move a bit onto the league
Yeah, the
table
league
and some
table,
of the
yeah.
leagues.
Sure.
How it went.
So the top 4 teams. I mean, Reed, I think we'll kind of pass this one to you because you're
a bit
the
unpredicted.
Mr. Big.
Yeah,
Mr. Big.
Mr.
Halo.
I've never been called Mr. Big before. I think generally there's a couple of teams I was like, okay, they're probably going to qualify. They're very passionate people. They've got the same roster they've had for every week. They want to come in. They want to win. They want to be at LAN. Then there's a few upsets, like you guys. I mean, you guys have been running production and now you're playing in the tournament. 'Cause you actually did
Yeah.
not too bad. I mean, we got behind them, right? So we got Durham, we got BCU, we got London, and we got Leeds. And I think so Durham and Leeds I would expect to kind of be here.
Yeah.
Durham, those guys play all the time together. A lot of them play together at Blackpool. They're constantly scrimming together. I mean, they've been scrimming some of the like higher EU teams, just not even the uni teams, just European teams in general. I know they've had like Oscar coming on doing some VOD reviews for them. I think he did one for them yesterday.
Yeah, last night, yeah.
And then Leeds, who won last season, so they've come a long way.
Good team.
Very passionate.
Good M&K players as well.
Good, yeah.
Good M&K
Really good
players.
M&K players.
Go and grab a few Valorant people, teach them Halo for a year, and then they'll be okay.
And then that's how it works.
yeah.
Somehow.
That's how Neb get into it.
Yeah, he did too.
Because Neb went and played Valorant, and then he's gone to
Neb being our coach for London.
being our coach, yeah, he's an insane player.
And we'll get onto that in a second, but in fact, no, we'll go for it now. So yes, there's you guys, right, that have somehow managed to worm your way into top 4.
Yeah.
all three
I'd like to
games.
clarify, bottom of the table last split.
Yeah.
Bottom of the table
Yeah.
last split. And I don't want to say
Madness.
it's fully Neb's fault, because obviously you guys have been playing a lot and getting a lot better, but Neb has been somebody that's going to be attending here, I imagine. Yep.
Yeah, he's going to be here tomorrow.
And he's going to be here tomorrow. He hasn't been able to play because he's not technically a university student yet, but he's taught you guys a lot, from what I can tell. And it's really helped you push into top 4. And you should be proud of that. And then we have Birmingham. And Birmingham were a little bit out there. It was either going to be Birmingham, or it could have been Manchester, or it could have been Sutton, could have been the Confetti guys.
There was so many teams.
Quite a few teams.
competitors.
There was
for
there was a couple teams at the bottom. There was then about 6 teams that any of them could have made land, depending on how that final week went,
And then
right?
there was Durham.
I mean, we couldn't announce who was going to be the top 4.
And then Durham,
And then Durham just didn't lose any games.
Yeah.
But I think Birmingham City, I mean, Lewis is a really good player. I went to Valencia with him a few years ago for the last European Regional LAN.
Super, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And he's kind of brought that team together and stuck them together. But he's managed to find a bunch of people that kind of came a bit out of nowhere, but they're really good.
I was talking to Lewis about this, and Alex from Leeds finds he randomly just finds this guy who's on the Birmingham Esports subreddit and goes, "Do you want to play Halo?" And just tells Lewis his name. And Matteo, he's just insane, like quite literally, most damage every game, most kills every game. And when you're with Lewis is on your team, you know you're good when you're doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, actually, kind of bringing these teams together. I mean, Alex, you just mentioned him, who does play on Leeds. He has been a massive help for me in that he's taken the load off my shoulders of going around to every team and being like, "You gonna play? You gonna play? You need somebody?
You gotta be there. You gotta be there.
I mean, he'll come to me and be like, "Yeah, these are the subs we have for this week. You can just work it out." And then I have a list of subs and a list of teams and work it out. And then it's enabled us to go from having maybe reliably 5 teams playing in a season, which isn't great, up to we have 11 playing this season.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if you're thinking 16's good for a double elimination bracket, 11's nice.
Especially talking to Alex, there's for next split, he's confident he's got a couple more because he's already got 3 players from a couple of teams as well. Ever expanding.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we've got a question about this later, but the problem's always been for Halo in universities is there'll be 2 or 3 really passionate people that are like, "Oh, I played it as a kid, I want to keep playing it, I want to go into it." And just getting those 1 or 2 people to join, they just end up going around begging their flatmates or going into the esports Discord and grabbing people, which has worked quite well for a lot of teams actually.
Yeah. I mean, last season, we were completely like scrambling to find players. Like that, I think that was us, is like, you know, Jorsten and Theo kind of like were solidified of like, yeah, we'll play. And like they cemented the team, and then I think a week or 2 before official games.
I mean, on the day of the first official game, I was like, "Oh, do we have Neven somehow?"
Yeah.
And then
I mean, I had
goes,
mentioned
we
that I
got
played Halo, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I play a lot of MCC. I mean, at the time, I had been probably putting 30 hours of MCC in a week. So, you know, there's a lot there, but I hadn't played Infinite. This was right before the Bandit Evo change as well, when BR was still the ranked main primary. I hated the BR. I actually hated it. I couldn't hit my shots with it.
No skill.
No, literally, yeah.
Skill diff.
It sounds
Skill
bad.
diff, yeah.
It is a skill diff. I'm coming from Halo 3 where the BR has bullet drop, you're leading your shots, and then I'm leading my shots in Infinite. I'm like, they're not hitting. Well, why isn't it hitting? Why isn't it hitting? And, you know, and then there was me, and then we had a sub who, like, really didn't have any Halo experience whatsoever. And it wasn't
he
until
played
like, the
to
last
keep the team together,
Yeah, that was kind of
commitment.
he was kind of like the glue cementing us.
Just like
And then the last week of the winter split, we had Ellis join us. And
I think that made an
I mean,
impact.
that made a huge impact.
I think that made
His slaying potential and his damage output was so high compared to like anything we were witnessing in the past 4 weeks. So like, yeah, I think we have a shot here, guys.
You know, what was it? 2 days ago we scrimmed Durham. He got most kills in the lobby, most damage.
I mean, and that's against, and that's like you said, that's against Durham, and that's the team that plays together all the time. They're scrimming EU teams, like top EU teams. They're getting in scrims with like Quadrant and Foe. Sorry, I mean.
What do you mean? I mean,
Like-
I don't know who they scrimmed. I'll be honest. I haven't really looked except the uni teams they scrimmed.
Yeah, I've
They
seen their
scrimmed
uni
VC
their uni
yesterday
scrims,
as
and
well,
they're laying everybody out. They're
Yeah.
laying us out for sure. They laid everybody out in the league. for the match as well, undefeated. Until
I mean, we took one oddball round off them. We didn't take the map, but we
Hey,
took
I
the
mean,
round.
we
that's
took the round,
something.
right?
Hey, that's
That's something.
you take those.
Yeah, I mean, we did. What was our last game? We actually we took,
Oh,
we
yeah,
took
we
a game
took-
off
And then choked another
and then
map.
choked another map.
But like,
Hey, good signs. Good signs. You know.
Yeah.
I think generally, and I may be a little bit biased in saying this, but once people actually play the game and start playing a little bit competitive, they do tend to get quite into it. Like we've had a pretty good retention rate for people that have kind of subbed in for teams, or subbing for teams, be like, hey, actually, that's a lot of fun. With the game doesn't get that much attention really, and like it did, back in 2007.
Yeah.
So you don't have that like constant pool of people that would just be playing. I mean, if we were running this, in 2007, we'd have 100 teams and we'd be the top league in the university scene. But now we have Valorant, so that's not the case.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Damn it, Valorant.
Yeah,
from experience,
you need
here,
more
that is
skills
very
playing
true.
Halo anyway, right? More.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We all
We
like
like-
the thruster jump and then
We
get
like taking people from Valorant. Oliver from Leeds,
Yeah.
nabbed him from Valorant.
Yeah.
Now left his Valorant.
Ellis
team.
from Valorant as well. He played Valorant and then Overwatch
And
and now
Overwatch.
Halo. I mean, he seems to be really into Halo as well. I mean, that's.
I mean, he's
Sounds
just a
like
quick play div. You'd rather go in quick play than ranked any day.
Yeah, no, I don't like. I think I don't like quick play. I like actually having the Evo in my hands, like the Bandit in my hands, and like getting. I don't know what it is. I'm becoming quite biased to that weapon now. Like I find myself using that over wanting to use any other weapon other than probably like sniper, other than like
I
power
mean,
weapons.
yeah.
Right? Who doesn't want an S7 in their hands?
I'll just leave the spanker over there.
Oh no, I prefer my.
Oh,
my
but that is
5-hit
how
Bandit.
London play. We like to leave the power weapons to the other team.
Exactly,
It does
yeah.
work sometimes.
We have to challenge ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Just bait yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it.
like
It's a
I know
strat.
you casting tomorrow, and I know you'll be spectating tomorrow.
Mhm.
Do you guys have any predictions? I mean, I'm not gonna give our predictions
I
for
mean-
play. I don't want to become biased to another team, but
I
yeah,
mean-
what are you guys' predictions? I'm quite interested.
Yeah, you want me to go first?
Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is quite hard to go past Durham, right? Like, did lose one map over the entire season. So,
Yeah.
there is that. Yeah, and obviously, like, they played on LAN, like you said, they played at Blackpool, and they got a lot of experience. So,
Yeah.
I think it's hard to go past Durham, but like you said, I mean, you guys, you took a map off scrim, choked another map. Like, there are ways to beat them, but I think if they're really on their form, then it's a pretty
That's
pretty
I'm not
team.
gonna put that past you. That's
yeah.
I think
That's fair.
what's quite important to note though is the team that took the map of Durham is
Not here.
Southampton, which
Yeah,
is not here.
Not here.
for a
Yeah.
fact. So
Southampton did not make it.
yeah, I mean, I expect Durham probably will take it, but you guys did very, very well to get up there, and I don't know how many times you played Durham actually in the season.
Three.
We played them through.
3 times.
3 times.
So you've got a little bit of a
We
little
got
bit of
experience of
experience
being
playing
being-
against them. I reckon they're going to also choke a little bit, right? Like
They-
I think playing here is
old
going to be
goal.
different to playing online, right?
Mm.
Not that they're cheating, of course, but
No, but I mean, like you got you got the big signs, you got London
Home
splashed
advantage.
everywhere.
we're going
and-
to have
advantage.
spectators standing behind them. They're
Yeah,
going to have
I mean-
people kind of they won't be able to hear a lot of what's going on, but like in between the breaks, they'll be talking to people and people saying like, "Oh, you didn't do very well then," and that just
Yeah.
throw people off.
Like,
Um,
I don't know myself. I'm like, I don't know if it's more. I think I think Leeds are going to come in tomorrow and really fry. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
I
after
think Leeds
last
with
week,
Eric and OK this season have, when they are on form, if they come in and play as well as they do online, they have the firepower to
oh yeah,
end
I
series.
have a theory
Ooh.
that I don't think Leeds are going to do very well on LAN.
no.
Well, they were against
No.
London first, right?
No.
No, they're against Durham first,
They're
right?
playing Durham first, so
Yeah.
I think they're going to get
That's-
slammed. They're going
that's
to get
rough.
off into the losers bracket, which is then just going to be an instant demoralisation hit. And I know playing because I played with one of the Leeds players at Blackpool, so I kind of have a feeling for like how he's going to react at LAN, and then I think a lot of the other people are going to be quite.
He knows the mental.
He knows them.
I think, I expect some of the other guys might be a little bit nervous. Like, I don't think Alex has ever played at a LAN. His parents are going to be here looking over his shoulder.
Oh,
There's going to be,
no.
there's gonna be
Parent
eyes in the
buff.
back
It
of the
could be a
head.
parent buff though.
Yeah,
It could be actually, yeah.
I honestly, so I think I can confidently say I think Durham are going to do very well. I think they are not infallible. I think someone can beat them. The other guys, I think it's a toss-up, really.
Yeah.
I think you guys will do well
I
because you
think
guys are a
we
little bit
the,
used to
the
this kind of environment.
London BCU is the 50-50 match to begin with. I'm like, They beat us the one time we played them in the split, but that was first week.
Yeah, week one.
First
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
of week one, and
You
like
never
that-
saw them again.
And-
No, we didn't.
Like this-
We were like right next to them on the leaderboards.
I'm like,
Like
we
almost
did
the entire time.
until the final week. We had the same week, like score with them every week, which was mad. But like, I mean, week one we 250, 246 strongholds to lose them that series. So we gave them a go back then.
Yeah.
But they've improved a lot since then, and
Mhm.
so have we, to be fair. So it's gonna be close.
I think
Yeah.
your guys' main advantage is your coach, because we have a few pickup coaches for the other teams. I think every team will have a coach that will
Yeah.
be a UHL player from a different tournament. Is kind of what it seems like it's going. with.
Southampton players.
But
Oh, salt in the wound.
they'd already bought the tickets. They were ready. They were ready.
Yeah, booked in.
Kick all down.
But no, you guys obviously had Nev every single week, so you.
I mean,
he
actually,
knows
we
how to
didn't.
communicate with you.
We didn't actually.
I mean, he was there in the prep,
He
but
would
on the
be there in
weeks
the
he was
prep,
only there
but,
2 other
like,
weeks. Like,
I think we only
helping.
had him in our VC, like actually, I think actively coaching us, and like playing that coach's role for 1 week.
Okay.
But like,
Um,
we did loads of
The
VOD
other,
reviews
yeah, we've done.
and
I mean, we've done a lot of
sessions.
VOD reviews. We've done a lot of scrims. We have him for our scrims as well. He likes to do VOD reviews. He also likes to go through like just like a, what is something that you guys think you need to work on. He kind of challenges us a bit more than. He makes us think about it rather than just giving us the answer, which I like. But we haven't had him in our VC or even like
Until-
coaching us actively until that last week. And I think he was only there because that was the Leeds v London. He was like, I'm guaranteeing you go, and I want to see Leeds struggle. And so he was like locked in for that for us, which is quite helpful. But I mean, Neb has just been amazing for us. He's definitely improved our gameplay, our mental. I mean, positioning and everything. He's on it.
I think at the end of the day, you've got that experience with your coach that will give you a bit of an
Yeah, I mean,
advantage.
And his parents are coming, right? So that's another
Yeah,
parent buff.
yeah.
Can you get a parent buff through the coach?
I know he
think so, right?
definitely gets a parent buff. I know for a fact he gets the parent buff. I mean, speaking of EU Halo as a whole, earlier on,
Yep.
we just had our first major
We have.
And
for
Yes.
Halo, and then the next one comes to us. So with us being
London.
the first London/EU LAN,
I
how
mean,
are you guys' thoughts on Arlington?
I don't know. At first, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I did tweet out saying this is the first London Land of the Year.
Yeah.
Just kind of
Yeah.
slide it in there
Just-
to
yeah.
make sure that they're
Put that
aware.
one in there.
Yeah.
Make sure you have something over Quadrant, right?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Arlington was a great event. I think that the
Yeah.
Optic guys did a lot of kind of prep for that. I mean, the stage was set up like
Yeah.
bigger than this.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I mean, obviously, I have access to that Arlington Esports Stadium.
Yeah, that's a really good stage.
It's
Yeah,
huge.
that is
I have been. I used to live
amazing.
in Dallas, so I was an hour
Right.
away, and it, like you don't think it's that big. It's massive. Like the velodrome
Yeah.
is small compared to it. It is huge.
And I think I was a bit thrown off when we got into the game day and people were like, yes, this is the first Bandit LAN of HCS. I'm like, well, I guess
Yeah.
it's technically true, but it has been 6 months and everybody's been using the gun. And we
Mhm.
have Blackpool, which was a LAN that used the Bandit, and we had lots of online events. We had all the HCS weeks leading up to that, which obviously both James and I were kind of involved with. You casted for Atlas, and then I produced for EHL.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah,
they did a
it's-
really good job with Arlington.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was such a great event. Like, not only because we as EU did well, right? Like we're securing a
Almost a
fifth.
perfect event, really.
I know,
for
just
you.
quad. We're just so close. No, we almost got full pool spots. But
Yeah.
look, you take 3 pool spots, right? Like to
Yeah,
to your
better than
home
the
land.
2 we got, just improving. And I think home buff at London, that's gonna be a spot for the.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
Right.
scary. I think the Foe guys and the Quadrant guys have a very good chance of pushing up there because now we're going to have the Americans deal with jet lag, and
Yeah.
they're going to have
Yeah,
to moan
it's not
about
gonna be
eating
in
our terrible
Texas.
food. And,
No offense, but
And
No, none
it
taken.
was all Texas
know,
lands.
I'm from
it's
Mexico.
London, so there'll probably be something happen on their way to get to the station. The tube will be shut down and none of the players can get there or something along those lines.
Strategic.
Oh, Foe have won because no one has to get to the stadium. Well, what a
Shame.
shame. But yeah, and that's going to be over at Twickenham, which is the other side of London from where we are
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
But should be a pretty good event. I've been chatting to some people about it, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it should be good. But yeah, I mean, Arlington was a super event. Like always kind of great to see kind of teams. Especially like you said, we had so much online Bandit, and then you get to LAN and you see Sentinels 3rd seed just struggle, go out 0-3, but you see Optic 5th seed, like really bizarre that they had such a bad time, and then they like go and do beans, right? Like it's one of those things that you can never kind of count teams out, and LAN's just
definitely. I mean, I think a lot of things that we forget when we do have these like online to LAN kind of things is that like LAN buff is a thing. Like I think people overlook it a little too much. They don't expect
there
it.
are
Like,
teams that are just better.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like I know Optic is a big LAN team. I mean, with Formal, he was a LAN guy on COD. I mean, I come from COD, so that's a lot of my knowledge for him. It's like on LAN, he was unstoppable with the Optic roster. I think he's taken that over to the Halo roster with Optic as well, and it's kind of unfortunate that they've lost to Space Station.
Well, speaking of,
yeah, it's not that unfortunate. Like we look, I mean, right, Quad last year, top 3. We're like, man, this is the best EU's ever done. Like, this is awesome. And then SSG is like, yeah, we want Legends. We're gonna yoink him. And man,
Cosmos the mania in EU.
yeah, right, yeah, that all went down.
Yeah.
T-Chick gets pushed out of Quadrant for Snipe Joan, and then T-Chick joins Foe, and then Foe
And then
beats
Foe
Quad. I
gets
mean,
top
you could talk
6.
for hours about it. Like,
Yeah, just shit, just monstering it, and yeah, but I mean, look, Legend like just went massive, right? Like just
At Arlington, all of those folk boys had their series, or none
Oh,
of them.
definitely.
There was no like poor performer. They all just popped off.
Oh,
Different
100%.
series, different maps.
It did make me laugh though that like when Pools came out, it was like Foe versus SSG, and it's like, man, Jimbo and Liam, like Mighties, just can't get away from Legend. Like they're just you go into a pool and you got to play them again.
I feel like Arlington was really like an EU was a spotlight kind of in a small bit of that, because obviously you had Legend winning it, you had Foe beating out Quadrant, which I don't think anyone really expected them to do. I think we expected Quadrant to perform a little bit better on LAN.
Yeah.
And then you have that iconic picture of Wootum and his key.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was
This
viral a
guy's
little bit.
like-
Yeah, that was bread on butter.
You had all the people in the crowd screaming at him because he was a dirty KBM player, and he showed them. Yep.
Oh man.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
he was the biggest KBM. He's like
The highest
first
ever
KBM,
placing, yeah.
highest
Yeah.
placing KBM player. I mean,
Mhm.
that's huge.
The only one I
He's
can
not even-
think,
Scoob.
Scoobmeister.
Scoob,
ANZ.
and then CptJamesForce did pretty well on KBM for.
Blackpool.
No, he played in one of the majors before
Did he
Blackpool.
play? Oh.
I don't know if they made it out of groups, but he was playing
Don't think
KBM over in the States.
Yeah, but it's like highest placing for a mouse and keyboard player.
That's,
Like
and I mean, how young is he? He's like 17.
17.
Yeah.
Former Splitgate pro.
Yeah.
Used to play for SSG actually.
You know,
Yeah.
we could see him go join Legend.
Yeah, oh my God.
Slowly SSG will turn.
Man, like
into
when
a-
SSG
Yeah.
started tweeting like with his photo, and I was like, oh my God, not again! Like don't do this again. But like no, he I mean he has like over 40K of winnings from Splitgate, and he used to play in his bedroom, beating Americans on American servers. Like, yeah, it's crazy, and Halo for him is like a game that's like slower, because Splitgate was so fast
Yeah.
that like that Halo is actually like really slower for him.
I think
so
looking
almost-
and reading the chat and everything for Arlington, it's just people couldn't believe how he got the controller movement, the Halo movement on KBM. And it's like he was so consistent with the drop slides, the curb slides, everything, running the flag, that it just showed people it is possible. You have to be very
Also,
good.
His sense is like crazy high.
Mine's super low. Like, I
Yeah,
couldn't
also
understand.
mine.
I mean, do you
mine's
ever
low.
sit there, look at him, and think that could have been us?
Yeah.
We could have been the highest placing KBM
Oh,
players.
that could have been me in like CE.
I made top 32 at Blackpool.
Yeah, could have been you. Could never have been
How
me.
many teams were on Blackpool?
Yeah.
Don't want to mention that part.
But and another thing that I thought was quite interesting what he said was he came from Splitgate, came into Halo, tried to learn the maps, and he was like, this is just easier because I don't have to worry about portal spawn points.
Yeah.
So learning maps in Splitgate just made him kind of over ready to play Halo, because I mean Splitgate is kind of like Halo in that's arena shooter, there's weapons in the map, etc., etc. The sandbox is kind of similar, and then you just have more mechanics on top. So he's kind of, if not made it a little bit easier. If there's the competitive scene's a bit tighter here than it is in Splitgate, but
Yeah.
definitely has been a good experience for them all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a chat to Jimbo about it as well, and Jimbo was saying, like, he used to beat me in Splitgate, so now he gets to be on the same team as him. He was like, I want him. Like, we want to take him.
Yeah,
And I mean,
Yeah.
I understand the reservation as well, like, especially, you know, right after Glory leaves, you're kind of looking for a player. Like, they played with Barcode for a little bit as well,
Mhm.
with Ain Zedlov. But I mean, it is kind of one of those things where you're like, do we take on a mouse and keyboard player? Like,
Yeah.
we do expect to do well. Like, we do expect to be top 8. Like, will a mouse and keyboard player help us? Or, like, how's that going to look? But, yeah, I think it's...
Like, speaking on that, America beforehand, like EU, inside, we all kind of thought we have 2 top 8 teams here. But America, especially inside, you could see that they did not believe it.
No.
And the fact that we've gone and pointed that out, Rutim's just the whole part of that. He's just slotted in perfectly in that FO team.
And I mean, I think we got a little bit dogged as well in Arlington because, like, we had, like, FaZe and SSG, and then we went into champ bracket, and we had to play FaZe and SSG the other way, and I'm like, oh, man, this is not that great.
We were meant to play business, and that just didn't work out.
Yeah, and then it became native, and, I mean, still did the business in the end. Actually, I think business still ended in the same group anyway.
They did,
so
yeah.
it's like,
But
but, yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of those things that... Especially when you're watching kind of Foe and Quadrant to start with, and they both lose, and they both go to the losers bracket, and then Foe is just getting pumped in the first game, and you're like, oh my god, is this going to be like another time
But
that we
that
get
lower
like
bracket one from
top
Foe,
12
Game
and then
5s.
no, yeah,
Game 5s for Foe.
they were
They turned
1
up.
second of an oddball away from losing in Game 3, and then they full reverse sweep, and then
And
the
then
run
Proton
happens,
as
and
well.
top 6, and yeah, it was nice to see. It was nice to see some Game 5s in the run.
if there's one
Yeah.
thing we're good
Yeah.
at in Europe, it's Game 5s and Grand Final resets. We've been on the receiving end
Oh,
of many of those.
so
doing it.
many Grand Final resets.
Yeah.
I think last year Quad and then Navi, right, played 7 finals, and I think 6 of them were Grand Final resets. So
We were sat there
yeah.
in the HGS qualifiers, and I had Harry casting for us, and he was like, "I haven't eaten yet." I'd be like, "Oh, this will be fine, you know." You're only in the grand final. 2 hours later, grand final reset, map 5. I'm like, okay, sorry, Harry. Oh, by the way, you got an interview afterwards.
yeah. Oops. Oh, funny.
I mean, speaking on EU Halo, and obviously previously speaking about the LAN, I mean, the HCS London LAN, sorry, what do you guys think the, kind of like the placements there are going to look like? I mean, obviously we've just come out of a major, and we can't predict the next one, but I still kind of want to gather some predictions just based off that performance alone. I mean, we'll have a lot of time to prep. It's end of May.
Well, I think SSG can only get better from here. They've not had that much time because Legend did fly out quite late, to be honest.
So he missed Open 1 and 2, or he just flew in before 2.
He flew in like the day before the Open.
He played in our tournament
Yeah.
during the NA Open one, playing a game of
Griff Ball, yeah, he was
with
playing
the rest
Griff
of
Ball.
The quadrant guys.
Yeah, he
instead
was
of
playing Griff Ball
SSG.
with Quad, and then like flew out the week after, and then played in the Open 2. And that was the one they didn't do very well in. I think they came like 5th or something, right?
Yeah.
And then that was kind of where I was a bit like, oh man, I'm a little bit worried about what's just happened. And I remember feeling the same about Quad because like Glory wasn't doing what we know Glory can do, and I was like, man, like Foe have just won like 2 on the bounce and like not lost a map in the second one, and SSG have placed like 5th with Legend, and I'm like, oh no, is the whole pyramid gonna like fall apart? But no, it corrected itself, self-righted, and then.
And I think as you said, they can only get up. I think
Yeah.
definitely the
Yeah.
quad team need a little bit more time to gel together. I think you've kind of got that pairing of Glory and Snipe Drone in there. They're working together and they are getting a little bit more comfortable. And then the other 2 guys are just solid as is.
Yeah.
So I think as they kind of fix that kind of gap between the 2-2s, they'll then work better as a 4. And I think Foe, they're just going to be on such a high after this. It's just going to carry them forward.
And that's one thing you do mention about like the difference is like actually Quad, all of those guys have played together before in various kind of different rosters, except probably for Glory. But like with Foe, I think Jimbo was saying in his interview with the narrative, right, with Onset and Bravo, like I don't think he had ever played with Schick before on a team, and like you know he's played against Wootum and like Liam. Kind of this was the first real time. Like they're all kind of like new,
And it gelled perfectly.
yeah, it's
That's
like
the
kind
one
of.
that gels.
And this is the thing that I was saying, like, when we were doing the Open coverage, I was like, man, like, Quad look real good, and then, like, Foe, foe, like they haven't had time to gel as much, and then the major qualifier and they beat Quadrant, and you're like, wow, like, yeah, I mean, clearly there's something working there. So
Yeah, they have some sort of chemistry that obviously we're seeing it because they're performing quite well, but there's something there that we, like as spectators and outside, we don't quite understand, but it works for them, and I think, honestly, I think that Foe will start to improve a lot better. We might see them in a top 2 placement.
I think with
London
home
LAN
advantage at
is
London.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like they'll have the home
Have the
advantage.
crowd
better,
behind
better chanting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
We won't
man.
have the, I believe that we will win type
Yeah,
chanting.
yeah.
I think. I mean, another
but-
thing, kind of just to add on to the end there as a bit of a wrap up. I was chatting to Darren last night, and we were talking about kind of what makes a good team, and it's not always the individual players. So like,
Yeah.
T-Chick was kind of pushed out of quad a little bit for Snipe Drone because they thought that would work better having him with Glory, but it's not necessarily this player's better than this player. It's which player gels the best with the other team, with the other players on your team, right? And Chick has really kind of solidified himself as a player that can just fit in well with that team. And I think he's playing better than he was on the quad roster just because of the different people.
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah.
He looks great on that roster.
I mean,
They just need a team.
Definitely.
They just need an organized. They just
exactly.
need more.
Orgs.
Straight
Orgs,
ripping.
Get on them.
Straight ripping.
Get on
Call
them.
them.
Get on them.
I think it will happen. I think it'll happen before London. I think we'll see it happen.
Yeah, I also think so.
Um,
We'll see.
I'm really excited. Definitely. I mean, after tomorrow, being the first London LAN, still gonna hold that
Yep.
title, right? Exactly. Being the first London LAN, though, I'm really excited to go compete, watch. Like, I'm really excited to see what Quadrant can produce for us, and European Halo as a whole. Being that it's the first time since 2018. Like, this is the first major outside of NA since
And
2018.
that 2018 major was something.
It
It was a little bit
think,
small.
I think 2018 for Halo was something.
Yeah.
Right. we were coming into that Halo 5, kind of trying to. We knew a new Halo game was in the works. There were teasers for Infinite. 5. I think 5 kind of slowly killed. It revived, but then killed Halo a little bit.
It fractured it.
I think that's definitely a better term. Is that it fractured it? I think that Infinite has started to repair and hopefully
Heal the wounds.
Exactly. I think we're kind of healing Halo. And I honestly, if a new Halo game comes out and 343 listen to the player base because we exactly.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I think if Infinite launched the way it is now,
Oh, it'd be
it
so
would have been
much
so much
better.
bigger.
Yeah.
I think
And
we'll
I think
retain players.
people that try it out are kind of feeling that. I mean, you've got big streamers like I'm forgetting names
Summit?
now. Summit.
Summit.
Yeah, so
Summit.
Summit's been playing.
Summit.
He played it for a little bit, then stopped. And he started playing it again now. And I mean, he'll pull more views than like LVT or somebody. He'll pull like 10k views just for him playing ranked, and he plays with some.
Comms open, guys. Open your damn comms.
Yeah.
Plays with
Talk
some
to
of the
people.
plays with some of the casters, some of the HCS casters. He
it's
plays with like
pretty
Eli X and stuff, which is great. And it is. I think people will slowly try it out, and I think they will make it improve. But yeah, if they drop another big game, we could then see some big stuff. And I don't think I'm really spoiling anything by saying this, but I think Quadrant for this LAN are trying to make it much a community event as well as a competitive event. And they're going to try and push that out and kind of, I mean, I've never had the fortune of actually attending a HCS in the
Neither.
States. Valencia's the only one I did, and that didn't really have any community stuff, so people were just kind of milling about watching games.
Yeah, it
And-
was a dream hack,
and-
right? So you're like part of a bigger
yeah,
thing.
you can, like, go and watch CS or something. Like, you can, there wasn't really much else other than Halo, but I think this is going to be a nice community sort of pushed LAN.
I mean, and on that point, right?
I'll move on.
Yeah, on that point, like we had Blackpool, and I think like Europa Halo did an amazing job with like Jelly Media and those kind of guys, and set up this huge thing. Like, yes, Europe does want to play Halo, right? And you do that, and then you kind of see, yes, we're worthy of a major. So now it's like, all right, now we have this major. Let's make it the best thing, so they can't say no next year.
Definitely. I mean, I grew up playing Halo. Like 3-year-old me on CE. My dad's like, here you go. Great. You're right.
Makes
right.
me feel old.
Right. Like, I mean, I'm 2 days older than Halo 2. To put in perspective, like my age.
don't worry, James.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm not trying to make
Kids.
anybody feel bad or old or anything. That's not my goal here. But like, saying I grew up playing Halo versus if you or Reed were to say you grew up playing Halo is completely different.
Yeah,
But like, I didn't get to experience the fun of going over to a friend's house, having 3 Xboxes in your kitchen
Looking
or
at CRT.
somewhere, right, and having
Yeah.
the massive box TV like the CRT TVs, or even that would have been when flat screens were like first coming out. They were still quite thick, but like having a
Yeah.
LAN that you made versus something like this, I didn't get to have that experience at all, really. And I can even say that Halo is a community game from my perspective, and I didn't even get to experience that. And so for Quadrant to go and then, like you said, I don't know if it's spoiling anything, but like be more of a community event, I think that will also start to heal Halo, not even in just a competitive sense, but in a casual gaming sense. And we might hopefully get to see more just casual Halo LANs popping up of people playing together in their living rooms or whatnot.
Yeah.
I know the Frenchies are good for that.
Yes.
Okay.
So
The French guys have a lot of LANs, like BTB and Games Assembly. Like, yeah, those they're keeping the dream alive.
If only that transfers here. I
Yeah.
would love to have like some internet cafe, just like Friday Night Halo. That'd be amazing. Just
So-
going and playing with a bunch of random people you never met, having a good time.
Yeah, and I don't know how far away we are from that. I feel like if you just ran a Halo event at like I don't know a game or something. What's
Like the Belong or
Belong,
the,
yeah, like a little Belong arena. I feel like you'd struggle to get people to turn up.
Mm.
But like if you organise kind of a smaller thing, so like I know the Polish guys had a LAN, I want to say a few months ago.
Yeah. Finland
Yeah,
had one last week.
Finland had one last week.
Yeah.
That had 8 teams.
8 to 10.
Something like that.
Yeah. Sorry,
So
Finland.
like still quite a few teams of people playing, and I feel like if you organise mini events like that, I mean this for example is kind of a mini event. that we're doing.
Italy has a LAN as well. I think Halo Italia had a LAN last year. Like there are certain countries doing stuff, but yeah, I think we can.
I think looking at the time, we may go to Reed now because I think
Sure.
you have something to talk about because this podcast is going out a bit
I
later.
do have something to talk about.
You
I mean,
do.
it's a little bit weird
I
because
think we're just going to vote for you and James.
yeah, we've not actually announced this yet, but it will come out after the announcement, so you'll all
Yeah.
be aware of it.
Yeah. So the announcement's been released, but
Yes,
I mean,
Not,
that's
but
true.
not.
Yes.
not right. Like
Yeah.
as recording this, it hasn't been released, but it will be when you see this.
Yes, so we obviously recently had the exit of Europa Halo. They have
Yep.
officially closed their doors, which is a shame to see. The Blackpool event was great, and I know they're a real passionate group of guys over there.
I mean, going out on a high, right? Like,
And we've
to be honest,
and by we I'm talking about EHL here, not UHL. So European Halo League. We've been trying to fill that gap. We've ran 3 seasons now. We ran an autumn, winter, and a spring season. All of which were pretty well attended, pretty good viewership. We've kind of popped up on HCS's radar, and we're making good strides. And then, kind of just post Blackpool, we had a group called Atlas, set up by Oscar, who we will shall be
Luke.
seeing tomorrow,
and Luke.
and Luke.
I
I was getting there. I was getting there.
Luke gets forgotten a lot.
Well, he's just the man in the shadows.
Yeah,
And then Outcasted was involved, and Deimos is involved, and that's
was it?
the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I don't miss anybody else out before James shouts at me. And they've done a really good job. They ran a draft tournament in January.
Yep.
Which
Very
was
fun.
very well attended. I think people really
£1,000
enjoyed
prize
that.
pool as well.
Yeah, some people just came out and chucked money at that. That was great. People really enjoyed that. In fact, one of our players placed pretty well in that, right?
Second place.
Ollie for Leeds, he played
I think Ollie placed. Wasn't a top 8 place?
top 8, I believe.
I think
He
Ollie
got
placed.
far.
Yeah, Ollie got quite far.
Yeah, because
He was on Team Legend, wasn't he? Or
I was gonna say I could message him, but
I
the time we
he
have,
got,
I
all
don't
I
think
know
I
is he
could,
got
right?
far because he went on the lower bracket once. Right?
yes.
I was
So
told.
But yeah,
so
I mean,
that was a great event that those guys done, and I'm kind of prolonging the announcement here. Essentially, we are combining as one organisation, which kind of encompasses the entirety now of European tournament organisation.
Yep.
And I think the plan is to go ahead, and I hope I'm not misspeaking here. Atlas is going to be the parent organisation, and then anything Halo related, kind of under that umbrella, that we run is going to be run under the European Halo League. We're going to have a little bit of a refresh, some new graphics, some new branding, some new colour schemes, make us a little bit more
Love a rebrand.
stand out.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys haven't actually seen the logo yet, but it is a pretty fun logo.
It is exceptional.
We've got a few models. I know my artist is cooking something up, which I'm hopefully going to get later today.
Nice.
And overall, I think it's going to be a really positive move for European Halo to show that it isn't a bad thing. We haven't just lost the only support that European Halo has had. We've we're here. We're going to stand. We're going to try and perform everything Europa Halo did and more if we can keep at it. And I think we're already making some good connections. We're trying to work hard, trying to work in collaboration with HCS as much as we can to actually kind of support the main competitive scene, but then also allow those lower teams to kind of attend an event and have something to play in, kind of like they did at Blackpool with a lot of people that kind of turned up for that, you know, a little bit on the peripherals of the Central European scene that kind of hang out to sauna. But yeah, is there anything you want to add about the announcement? Because obviously you're somewhat involved as well.
I'm also jumping on board. I obviously don't bring EHL. I will be a little bit more behind the scenes. Obviously, I'll still be casting and doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, like from an Atlas kind of side, like Halo is not the only game, right? Like there are a lot of FPSs out there, and Atlas are gonna try and do a little bit more than just be a one game TO, but Halo is obviously kind of the place to start and getting Reed on with the EHL, and yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome, and hopefully we can do some more in-person events as well.
Yeah, because we were kind of both covering a bit of the HCS open bracket, and you know, some stuff they'd get right, some stuff we'd get right. We were competing for viewership kind of basically non-stop, which wasn't really healthy for either of us. So I think this collaboration just works better for both organisations and just allow us to get higher.
Yep, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that alongside the London event that Quadrant's putting on, I think that European Halo will start to hopefully see a bigger rise. Hopefully quick rise as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, like being back into not just having NA be the spotlight. I think that'd be ideal for honestly the competitive scene as a whole.
And I know we never explicitly said it, but we will be in attendance at London.
Yeah.
We ain't missing that.
We'll be
I
there.
think everyone's going to be there.
Yeah,
I
but also
know I'll be there.
I mean, like the good thing about London, like, is that not only is it not NA, but it's also not Texas, right? Like every event last year basically was in Texas, and I know Quadrant used that in their kind of like announced trailer as well, that it's not going to be like Texas barbecue or anything. But man, am I glad to put it in an EU time zone? I can't wait. Like I think if Quadrant basically can make this like really really great and really something the community loves, then I think we'll probably secure some lands for the future as well.
Yeah, and we're gonna try our hardest to kind of work to sort of supplement all the European stuff, and you know any NA teams that want to reach out to us, and kind of we know people around the capital and stuff, so you know we can help any NA teams that want to come, because I think it's really the first time for a lot of them to play an event that feels like they're actually traveling for.
Sure, yes.
Like, they play Worlds, which is everything's in NA, and now they actually get to come to Europe and experience a slightly different culture and stuff like that, which is only positive.
Yeah.
Got to give everyone beans on toast. It's gonna be fantastic.
Well, I think we're going to head towards the end and the outro now, but I think one thing we like to do on this podcast at the end of the podcast is just a group selfie with everyone involved.
Okay.
So we'd love to go and get a group selfie. Don't know if we have a phone for that or just anyone's phone.
Yeah, there we go. We have one there.
Here's one we made earlier.
It's one we made earlier. Here's a phone we made
earlier.
earlier.
Who's the tallest who wants to...
That'll be you.
Oh, it's probably me.
I think we can get a group selfie in.
Okay.
We're standing up for this, I think.
Yeah.
We
Can we
stand up.
fit the standing up, or do we have to be sat down? Crouch down.
Do you want us to do it on the couch and you can do the whole...
Yeah, just huddle in on the couch and we'll do a selfie.
Give a hug.
My arms mean over the top.
Yeah, I'll be in.
There you go. Cool.
Perfect.
Cool, and then
Should we slide that one back?
now we've got the picture.
Perfect.
Before we kind of finish, any final thoughts on kind of anything we've talked about? Really, we've talked about quite a bit. We've talked about the LAN, talked about HCS, talked about Europa Halo shutting down, and the new
merging.
The new kind
Merging
of
is more.
the merging. Yeah.
But I mean, like, no, I think I'm excited for this event. I think especially kind of not only to kind of get in like some uni student, get UHL kind of getting a LAN going, but also like seeing this as a springboard as to where it can go, right? Like what we can do at something like the Velodrome, or what else is opportunity. Because like I said earlier, like when you go back there and you kind of see that there's 7 or 8 PCs and there's all these stream decks and everything everywhere and all the graphics, that just makes me excited for the possibilities of what you can do.
yeah, I guess the closing thought for me is just thank you guys for helping me kind of put
Yeah,
this
thank
on.
you for having us.
Because-
Yeah.
Of course, thank you guys for coming.
Like, you know, we wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys' support. We couldn't afford to pay for rent a venue and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Not for University Halo, and this is kind of realizing my entire pretext for setting up all of this is that when I did CS, I did a lot of CS:GO. It was back then.
Yeah.
Adminning for university scene. I mean, I still kind of do, but that was very much a springboard for sending students, kind of great teams, up into the European circuit, and then up to wherever that goes after that. So, for example, Warwick, a perfect team. They play in our uni leagues. They're also a top team in the UK by far. So they kind of have that work, and I'm hoping that some of these teams can keep on improving, keep on working at it, and then we might see them top 8 at a European LAN event. Maybe a little bit ambitious at this point, but I think we can definitely get there.
I think maybe about a year or two time we'll probably end up seeing that, especially
if a new game comes out, right, and everyone's starting fresh, I mean, you guys have the carryover knowledge from Infinite that a lot of the people coming into Infinite had from playing a lot of Halo 5 and a lot of Halo 4 and Halo 3 and whatever, Reach. But I think it's fair to say a lot of these uni guys kind of came into Halo Infinite not having either played Halo for a good number of years or having transitioned to PC and, like me, only come back because we can play keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
And I just think that this kind of, you use the word springboard, I think the springboard from uni scene to European scene and then us supporting both of them is going to be a pretty good opportunity to go forward, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Do you have any thoughts?
I think I'm just excited for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, we're ready. For us, me and Neven here, we've got BCU first. We're ready for them.
I know we've played them once this whole season. So for that to be the starting game.
Twice.
Yeah, we've scrimmed them a few times, but
And
I mean,
they
in terms of
ended
like
2-2 and 3-3 or something. So
yeah,
it's just.
I think.
I'll be on the desk, so
yeah, I know.
I'm excited. I'm excited for this one to kick off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have quite an early start tomorrow morning, and to be honest, I don't think that it shouldn't really affect us.
We
honestly.
I think
Uni
it-
students having to get up early. Oh
I-
my
I-
god! What a
I think it
nightmare.
affects the other teams. A lot of people are travelling on the day tomorrow. I know, so for them
the
they
game at
may
6.
get out of a car, they may get out of a train and get instantly put into a.
Yeah, I think
an
that'll also
important
be
match,
something that
so
we kind
for
of
them, they may
overlooked. Because
struggle,
the
but-
travel time for some of the players, they're coming.
Durham's quite far away.
Yeah, Durham is quite far away. I mean,
6 hours. That's what I'm hearing.
6 hours
That is,
into straight gaming.
Yeah. Well,
Man, I
Oh,
hope.
stream drop. You can talk about stream drops quickly.
Oh yes,
Yes.
we have drops tomorrow.
Yeah, watch our stream. We
So-
have drops.
yeah.
You'll be watching this after the stream, so
Yeah, the
Yes.
podcast come out on.
There would have been
Tuesday.
drops,
There would
and
have
I
been
hope
drops.
you
There
got
was.
them.
I hope you got the drops. Yeah, we
Yes.
had some amazing drops on this.
man,
on the
I
stream.
love that HCS launch coating for
Oh.
the S already.
I know.
You guys really missed out.
I mean, on my free-to-play account, they all come in handy.
Yeah, exactly. Our free to play accounts. Seeing how best you can customize a free to play account without putting money.
no.
Still no money into the game on my account. I can happily say, which kind of sucks because I really wanted
just
that.
me
You
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
been
yeah.
supporting
Fine.
Quadrant by buying their bundles?
They
Oh,
don't.
you follow them on
Microsoft
Twitter
doesn't
and
let
you
me
get
put money
drops.
on.
Yeah, I also won actually. I won a C9 weapon bundle yesterday, so I'm
Lucky you.
good at that.
I mean, the only bundles I've bought are the 2 C9 ones, so
Yeah.
the support may be lacking. But
Gotta get the Quadrant shoulders going. You know, that's what I have.
Exactly. Get the.
I would have got the
C9
heavy
skin with the
shoulders,
quad
but I
shoulders.
can't anymore.
Yeah.
They're gone.
No,
Well,
but
thanks
yeah,
for
thank you
staying.
guys for
That's it,
yeah.
coming on. I
Thank
mean, I think we're just gonna go and play some 1v1s now. Yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna go sleep.
Prep for
But
tomorrow.
yeah, no, thank you guys again for coming out. Thank
Yeah,
you for
thank you
being
for having
on.
us.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, share,
All the things.
all the things, especially on Twitter. And if you do, make sure you tag us. Tag uni underscore
UK underscore uni Halo.
Yeah, there you go. I don't have the
That's the
time.
one.
I forgot the
Or
tag.
European
Apologies.
Halo. Any of
Yeah,
them.
and then
EuroHaloLeague.
just stay watching, I guess.
Well,
Stay watching.
At this point, they would have already watched.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The event
exactly.
went well.
Well,
The
wait for next
champion.
week's episode on Tuesday. But yeah, thank you guys again for watching. Thank you guys for coming on. I'll
worries.
see you guys tomorrow morning.
Sounds good.
Literally.
Peace.